cocksuckers, pederists. I hope you all enjoy the show. Yes, I do.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Joe Consumes Cinema. I'm your host, Arian Brightflame. You've minorly inconvenienced me. Prepare to die. And today we have A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, Season 1, Episode 4. So last episode was great. Really, all the episodes have been great. But I specifically enjoyed the last one because we're finally getting to, the real meat of this first season with the really big conflict. So, Arian literally attacked Tansel Too Tall for no other reason than, that puppet dragon got stabbed in the neck with the sword. He took that as a personal insult, even saw it as like an act of treason, and, attacked her, broke one of her fingers. That's her livelihood right there. And yeah, it kind of just ruins her entire life. And Dunk showed up before it could get any worse, but, he did hit a prince. That is a death sentence, so yeah, this is going to be an issue for sure. Egg showed up, revealed who he actually is, Aegon Targaryen, youngest son of Maekar. And yeah, like, we should be getting a lot this episode, and I'm hearing really good things. I haven't, spoiled myself or anything like that. I have read the book, but still, this should be really, really good. And yeah, I'm really eager to get to this one, but before we begin, as always, remember to blank, blank, and blank. Still very much a small channel, so every like, comment, share, subscribe that we can get really helps out. Really appreciate it. Patreon link down below. I'm really trying to push the Patreon this year, so if you could sign up, even just as a free member, I'd really appreciate it. With that, let's get right to it. It's Dunk in the Dungeons. Yep.
Leave the food and go. My uncle says I must beg your forgiveness for deceiving you.
Your uncle?
Prince Baelor.
The heir to the Iron Throne?
I never meant to lie.
Yeah, but you did. About everything, starting with your name. I've not heard of a Prince Egg.
Short for Aegon.
After the Conqueror?
Yep.
How many Aegons have been king?
A lot.
So why'd you do it? Was it some jape? Make a fool of the stupid hedge knight?
No, I was supposed to spy for Darren. He's my older brother. He's a shit knight and a drunk. I didn't think I was doing anything wrong.
Of course you did. That's why you lied.
Just wanted to be somebody's squire, sir.
You'd have served a donkey were it squireless.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah, Dunk rightly feels betrayed, but I understand why Egg did it.
Rise.
He's a good boy. Good squire. And he meant no harm. I know that now.
One need not intend harm to do it.
That's true.
I wish Sir Duncan had killed him.
Arion is your brother. Aegon, leave us now.
As you will, your grace.
How good a knight are you? How skilled at arms?
Sir Erlen taught me sword and shield and...
He found his son, Daeron, drunk in an inn, a day's ride to the south. He told my brother that a huge robber knight made off with Aegon. I fear you have been cast as this robber knight, sir.
Oh, great.
I left that inn 4 nights past. Prince Darren did not pursue his brother's captor. What of the girl?
By the time Arion is done twisting your tail, it will be high treason.
Treason. By puppetry.
The dragon is the sigil of the royal house, to portray one being slain.
It was surely innocent.
Arion calls it a veiled attack on House Targaryen, an incitement to revolt.
Do you believe that, your grace?
No.
You laid hands upon the blood of the dragon.
The girl's finger was snapped in half.
No matter the cause, it is never wise to strike a king's grandson.
Would you not have done the same?
I might have. I'm a prince of the realm, not a hedge knight.
Don't all knights make the same oath to protect the innocent?
The court is unlikely to rule in your favor.
And when I'm found guilty?
The last time a man struck the royal blood, it was decreed he should lose the offending hand.
Oh, boy.
And so I ask you again, Sir Duncan the Tall, how good a knight are you?
Trial by combat.
Trial by combat.
I refuse.
You cannot refuse.
A trial of 7.
What the fuck is a trial of 7?
It is another form of trial by combat. Ancient.
What is a trial of 7?
The Andals believed that if 7 champions fought, the gods being thus honored would be more like to intervene.
Why not slay the rogue yourself?
Daeron has been wronged as well. Sir Duncan must pay for each one of his crimes against us.
Aerion is within his rights.
What does that mean? That I must fight 7 men?
Do not play the fool. It must be 7 against 7.
You must find 6 other knights to fight beside you.
But I have no one else.
If a cause is just, good men will fight for it. If not, it will be because you were guilty.
Yeah, he's got him here. Remember how long it took Dunk to finally get someone to vouch for Sir Arlen? It's going to be damn near impossible to get 6 other men to risk their lives to, stick up for Sir Duncan here. At this point, he's probably thinking I should run away. But then, he's no knight if he does.
I've mucked it up this time. I think I'm gonna die tomorrow.
Is that you? You're alive?
He does have some friends.
I saw what Aerion did to those puppeteers. All knights vow to protect the innocent. I'm for you.
Thank you, sir. Perhaps you shouldn't.
It pains me to admit it, but Stefan's a fine sword.
Why would that pain you?
I don't doubt that.
Who else fights with us?
I know no one else.
I'm sure we can find 5 more good men who wish singers to make them immortal. Lucky for you, I have some friends.
Raymond is surprised by him for sure.
You may be wise to run.
Want to kill me if I run?
Won't
Yeah.
kill you anyway.
Also very true.
Maybe the gods figure this is what I deserve.
For doing what you were supposed to do.
For not knowing my place.
Sir,
Hey,
I'm your squire, sir. You'll need someone to arm you.
you! No, don't do no!
Please!
Are you mad coming here? I should drive this through your neck! You lied about me.
I'll have to say something.
My father's going to join the 7 accusers, sir.
Yeah, of course he will.
You have little to fear from me, and I'll do my best to look gallant in the first charge, but after that, perhaps you could strike me a nice blow to the side of the helm.
My father has commanded the King's Guard to fight as well.
That's bad.
I can bring people, sir. Knights, I can.
I'll be fighting against your family.
My father will be well guarded, and you won't kill Daeron. He told you he'd fall down.
And Aerion. You'd see him dead.
Aerion used to come into my bedchamber at night, put his knife in between my legs. He had too many brothers, he'd say. Maybe one night he'd make me his sister, then he could marry me.
I dreamed of you. My dreams are not like yours. Mine come true. One on top of you, but you were alive, and the dragon was dead.
Did I kill it?
Maybe that I've killed you with my lie. And if so, I'm sorry.
Where did she go? I make for dawn.
Your rim was old. Cheap steel. Made you a new one. It's twice as thick. I put some straps on the back. It will be heavier now, but stronger too.
Damn right.
Stars fallen. And the sunset heralds night. The shield is all painted up like death.
The elm's alive, man. That's summer leaves for certain. You remember the old shield rhyme? Oak and iron, guard me well.
Or else I'm dead and doomed to hell. How much do you want for the new rim and all?
From you, a copper.
Dunk has the support of the small folk. They like Tanzell. They hate Aerion.
Sirs, I am in your debt.
The debt is Aerion's.
I heard your leg was broken.
You heard true. My leg is broken. I cannot walk. I can fight.
Sir Robin had died
That's Sir
as King's
Humphrey.
faithful servant. When the crown goes against the gods, Sir Robin goes against the crown.
The Mad Knight.
Cannot thank you enough. Nor Sir Stefan for bringing you.
The fuck is Sir Stevron? Boy found me. Hasn't been a trial of the 7 for 100 years.
Lionel Baratheon. Pretty good showing.
6? There are only 6?
It's possible Aerion has not found a 7 to take up his claim.
Raymond! My helm, if you please.
What of your friends? We only need one more to make our 7.
I'm afraid you'll need 2 more. I fight with Prince Aerion and the accusers.
You told Sir Duncan to rely on you.
Well, our prince would not have made me a lord elsewise, but for it thwarted Sir Duncan.
Yeah, fucking took a bribe.
Traded your honor for a lordship.
Cousin, I know great men who have traded their honor for far less. Fetch me my horse.
Get him yourself.
Fucking betrayal. Gut punch right in the stomach.
Knight me. I will take my cousin's place.
Any knight can make another knight.
Go. I shall give Squire Raymond his knighthood.
In the name of the warrior, I charge you to be brave.
In the name of the warrior, I charge you to be brave. In the name of the Father, I charge you to be just.
Cannot delay any further.
Seems you only have 5 champions.
6. We will fight you 6 against 7.
I'm afraid it is not permitted.
If you cannot find another knight to join you, sir, then you must be declared guilty of your crimes.
My lord, I beg a moment, please.
You have it.
I know none of you remember Sir Erlen of Pennytree, but I was his squire. We served many of you. He was a good man. And he taught me how to be a knight. Not just sword and lance, but honor. A knight defends the innocent. That's all I did. Who will stand and fight with me? And there no true knight among you!
Still one left.
I will take Sir Duncan's side.
Wow. With the theme too, man.
This man attacked my son.
This man protected the innocent. Let the gods decide if he was right or wrong. Ah!
Oh. Okay, took some time just to gather my thoughts. Episode 4. Yeah, there's been a lot of hype surrounding this episode, and yeah, it's 100% deserved. So, things start off, Dunk is literally in the jails. Trying to explain himself, he was just defending an innocent person. They don't care. You can't strike a prince. Arion's reasoning behind the whole, accusing Tanzil Tutal of being a traitor because, the defamation of the symbol of their house, and it's encouraging, subversive action and all that nonsense. It's total bullshit. But he's a prince, and they can generally do what they want, even when it comes at the cost to everybody else. So yeah, that's just the world they live in. Baelor advises him, if you go to trial, you're gonna lose. There are witnesses that saw you strike the prince. There's a story going around that Daeron Targaryen, who accused, someone of absconding with Egg, that's why he disappeared and, he lost control of his little brother. Sir Duncan unfortunately fits the bill for the villain, and, nobody's going to come to his defense, so yeah, a regular trial is completely out of the question because he's just going to lose outright. He's got no shot. Instead, what Baelor suggests, after prodding Dunk, asking him repeatedly, how good of a knight are you really? Can you actually back up and, do the hardest part of the job? Actually fight? And Dunk, not much of an alternative here, invokes trial by combat, and it was very clever by Aerion, unfortunately, where he invokes trial by 7. It's a much more ancient version of trial by combat, it actually predates it, and it's this whole idea of the faith of the Light of the Seven is super obsessed with this number 7, representing their 7 gods. So instead of just your typical standard trial by combat, they have this trial by 7 where 7 champions are chosen against 7 other champions, defender and accuser. And it's this big-ass melee, and, that's how they determine, guilt or innocence. Aerion knows that Dunk is a no-name, hedge knight. He doesn't have allies. So the easiest way for him to, get what he wants, a conviction, is to go this route with it. Dunk's not going to be able to find 6 other knights that are going to, stick up for him, risk their own lives to save his, so he's screwed. At least that's the reasoning, going forward. Dunk and Egg sort of make amends, he's chewing Egg out for how he lied to him. I really understand Egg's reasoning, he really wanted to be a squire. He wants to be a knight himself one day, and, You know, he knows his first best step is to, you know, squire for a real knight, and then they show him the ropes, and then, you know, he actually gets to be it one day. The problem is his brother is a drunken idiot, or, you know, that's how he looks at him thus far in his life. You know, he's a drunken sot. But really, there's more going on there too, because, you know, we've seen in House of the Dragon and also in Game of Thrones that Targaryens oftentimes have what they call dreamers in the family, and it's these people that have visions and they come true. And Darren very much is that. So, yeah, it's this weird situation where you think one thing about a person, you know, cursory, just a little bit of information, then you get to know them a little bit, and, you know, the whole thing changes. George is very big into that. Dunk starts going about the business of, you know, acquiring the men he's going to need to actually pull this off. And at first he goes to Raymond Fossaway. You know, he's not a knight, he's a squire, but his cousin Stefan is. And surprisingly, you know, Raymond's taken aback by it. He offers to actually help Dunk out here. And, you know, he's talking about how Arion very much is in the wrong. You know, what he did is dishonorable, and he's going to actually, you know, do the right thing here. He later gets bribed by Arion to switch sides, so Dunk thinks he has his 7 locked up, and, you know, Arion is missing one person. Then Stefan breaks the news to him that, you know, he basically took a bribe, a lordship, and that was enough to get him to break his honor. So yeah, at that point it's like 7-5 after Egg came through, you know, found a bunch of reliable people for the most part. We saw Sir Humphrey. He's the knight that went up against Arion in the tilts the last episode. You know, his horse fell on him, he broke his leg. He's still showing up, going to fight for Dunk. Lionel Baratheon, you know, this is the first trial by 7 in, you know, hundreds of years. It's something that the singers are going to, you know, write songs about. So, yeah, he's got to be here. He's got to be involved. Raymond gets knighted. Any knight can make a knight. So, you know, up jumps Squire, will work in a pinch. And, yeah, he's highly motivated, and he's definitely going to go up against his cousin for sure. Sir Robin Rysland, the mad knight that we saw a little bit of last episode, you know, kind of just wanders around doing the bidding of the 7, the gods, as he sees it. He's called the maddest knight in the 7 kingdoms for damn good reason. You know, in the books, he's just this religious zealot that, you know, does what he thinks his gods would want him to do. And in this case, you know, definitely backs Dunk because he sees his cause as just and, you know, definitely in keeping with the faith. But yeah, that brings them all the way up to 6. They're still missing one. And, you know, we get to probably the most important scene in the short story for sure, at least in my opinion, is the moment where Dunk is calling out to the crowd, you know, one last desperate attempt to get this 7th person, because otherwise it's a forfeit, and he's just dead. Killer line, are there no true knights? You know, an act of desperation, but also, you know, he really believes in chivalry, the code, all of that. And this idea that nobody will stand up for his cause when he knows it to be just is just like anathema to Dunk. He just can't take it. And it looks like he's going to be disappointed. And then all of a sudden, you know, the gates open up and out pops Baelor. That is the perfect use of the Game of Thrones, you know, theme song. That is so justified. I don't know how people are taking that right now. But if there's any controversy over the use of that, that is so just get fucked. That's absolutely ridiculous. That was so well placed and perfectly used. Like, just no notes from me. Anyone complaining about that, you're fucking wrong. Like, oh my god. Yeah, that scene, honestly, everything. Really, really important how they took care of it, because people were a little bit concerned with the humor in this show and how they were going to go about certain scenes that are supposed to be very, very serious. That one in particular, I know Alt-Shift X was talking about this, where, like, if they use humor a little too much in scenes that are supposed to be, you know, taken very seriously, like that scene in particular, that could be a real problem. Sir Duncan is making this desperate plea. It's his entire worldview at stake. It's his life at stake. It's, you know, everything on the line. And the person that, you know, steps up to actually take that 7th champion spot is Prince Baelor. Now, this is interesting because you have Targaryens on opposite sides in the trial by 7. Maekar is immediately, you know, pissed off with his brother, like, how could you take up arms against us? This man attacked my son, you know, that type of thing. Baelor just immediately points out he defended an innocent. You know, he's a true knight. He deserves help. Baelor's a real one, and it was a touching scene, and when he rode up and declared that he was fighting for Sir Duncan, you know, I even teared up a little bit, you know, with the music too, just perfect. It was also really cool seeing how the small folk definitely have taken with Dunk and his cause. You saw that the blacksmith, you know, reinforced the shield, made improvements to it, And, the first thing that Dunk saw when he looked at it, and he looked at, the new sigil, it's dusk. It reminds him of death immediately, and he's actually like crying. And then he points out, the elm tree is alive and healthy. Those were summer leaves for sure on it. And yeah, to look a little bit more positively on the whole situation, because it's not as bleak as he thinks it is. Again, I'm going to tell you guys about, the whole deal with the shield and the symbol on it at the end of this season. I'm going to hold that one off for later, but really, really cool. I love how it turned out, and it's just a nice visual. And, perfect for Sir Duncan the Tall. He's a knight of, meager means, a hedge knight. His situation, he definitely could use a little bit of luck. And yeah, there's just a cool little backstory with how, that whole thing came about. But yeah, I really can't think of anything else much to say. This was a really good episode, the best episode of the season. I think next episode is going to be even better, little surprises here and there, but I'm telling you, when we actually get to the, the real of this, it's going to be amazing. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So as always, thanks for watching, and peace.